What's up, YouTube? This is Joe, the 50 something Dasher, and with an old style daily recap video. Just for whatever reason, today I was just kind of in the mood. Thought I would do a dash and shoot a video like I used to with like all the screenshots and everything, and do the old style daily recap video. And it just so happens that on today's dash, there's like a couple kind of interesting stories to tell here. So we'll get into it right now. Start time for this morning's dash, 6:04 in the morning. And I got a hot decline 1 minute later, right out of the gates, $3 for 8 miles McDonald's. I don't think so. Not getting out of the apartment for that. So, like I said, a hot decline. Then, what was it? So, I had to wait a little bit, 14 minutes. Got a 1275, 7.5 mile Meyer, only one item. So, I'll get out of the house for this one. So, I get up to Meyer, park the car, click arrive at store, get out of the car, and realize that I don't have my wallet. That's just great. I mean, I can't think of a better way to start the dash. Just absolutely outstanding. That once again my forgetfulness, comes to haunt me. So I So the first thing I decided to do was I clicked on the button at the bottom of the screen just to see what it would say or do, because I've never clicked on it before. At the very bottom where you click on it where it says I don't have a red card. So I clicked on that and it said, well, you need a red card to complete this order. So if you don't have one, you can unassign from this order penalty free. Well, the the problem with that is that I did have a red card. It was just here at home. I forgot it, but I do have one. And I didn't want to select that option, and then like I don't know what would happen after. Would it like prevent me from getting another order? Probably it would prevent me from getting another shop and pay order. And the system would probably send me another red card when I don't need one. I've got the one I use and I've got a backup or two out in the garage. So I just figured I left the app on the screen that it was on, where like in between the arrive at store and start shopping. So I had the start shopping button on my screen. And I just decided just to go back home and get it. Get my wallet and then come back. So you're talking 3 miles back home, 3 miles back. And I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Would I get for leaving, like getting to the store, clicking and arrive, and then going and leaving, coming back home? Was I gonna? I've gotten messages before. Hey, you don't seem to be on the right track. You're going the wrong way, or whatever those different messages say. So was I going to get some kind of message like that? Was I going to get a contract violation, or I don't know what was going to happen. So I came back here. I got both coming home and going back to the store. I got pretty lucky. I think I just got stopped at like one light. So it was pretty quick, and no messages, notifications. There was nothing that came across the app. I mean, I just come back here, got my wallet, went back and didn't see anything. And then I took this next screenshot when I got into the store and got the one item was just a hair dryer. So I took this screenshot when I got close to HBC. So the time here is 6:44. So you're talking 25 minutes. It took me 25 minutes to get up to Meyer, come back home, and then get to Meyer for a second time, get in the store, and you know, and get near HBC. 25 minutes. I guess that's not too bad. That I've noticed when I get these Meyer shopping orders, they usually give me plenty of time to get to the store, where it might only take me not even 10 minutes to get to the store, but a lot of times they'll give me like 15, 20 minutes plus. So I didn't look at that initial time where I needed to arrive to the store by when I was first going up there for the first time. I didn't see what that time was, but I might have been like just slightly just past that time. I don't know. And then so they had like 4 or 5 different Conair 1875 watt hair dryers. So I just started scanning, and it was the third one that I scanned that took. So 1 minute and 29 seconds, not bad. So then, and then the next screenshot should be the delivery here. So I delivered that at, and of course I'm like racing to the customer and everything. And I'm feeling guilty about this, like, probably like close to a 20-minute delay. And, so delivered at 6:56. So all total from when I got the offer to the delivery, so that is 37 minutes. I guess that's not too bad. It's not like the customer had to wait over an hour or anything like that. Probably still was able to blow dry her hair and still get to work on time. And then when I saw that the tip was only $3, then I didn't feel quite as bad. I would have felt really guilty if it was like like a $10 tip, but it wasn't. So that was at 6:56. Next offer came 13 minutes later. Let's go back to Meyer. 12.75. So 2 consecutive $12.75 offers. 12.75 for 8 items, 6 miles. Sweet, we'll do it. Everything's taking place in zone. And then I think before I even arrived at, I think I was just arriving at the store, actually, if I remember right. They stack on another shopping order, $8.50 for 1.5 miles, only 4 items. So absolutely. So now you're talking 2 orders, paying over $21 and only 7 miles. 12 total items. So hopefully none of the items were going to be too tricky or anything. Next is the screenshot of the shopping cart. One customer, the 4 items, of course, is in the seat, and then the other customer down. Now, isn't it cool how I arranged all this? In the bottom, everything was turned like the other direction. So I turned everything around and then positioned the stuff up in the seat so I could take this picture. And no, this wasn't a picture taken for a magazine or something like that. It was just for this video. The frozen Band-Aids, that was a substitution for Princess Band-Aids, and the graham crackers was supposed to be sticks, and they didn't have any sticks whatsoever in any flavor. They just had the crackers. Customer said that was okay. So off I go to, well, first the time. So I finished shopping that at 7:32. So that second offer was so 15 minutes. 15 minutes it took me to shop that, and that was with two substitutions and having to wait on a customer reply, and so that was pretty good. You see, there was only 11 different things to shop for. Um, what was the multiple? Oh, the yeah, those Lunchables. That was the multiple. Delivered at, let's see, this is, so I delivered the $8.50 first, or I'm sorry, the 12.75 order first. That delivered first, 8.25 from DoorDash, 4.50 tip. That delivered at 7:46, and then next up was just 6 minutes later, the 8.50. So $2 from DoorDash on his shopping order. Thank you very much, DoorDash. I mean, come on. $6.50 tip for $8.50. I guess just because it was a, the just the timing of when the customer placed that order, and I just so happened to be pulling into Meyer. Hey, if the mileage works out and everything, if the system's like, okay, if we can put this on as a stack, the base pay can only be like, we can drop the base pay all the way down to $2 on this. So any way DoorDash can pick up those extra few bucks, any way they can, I guess. But it still was profitable for me. So, I can't complain. So that was at 7:52. Just 4 minutes later, I get so I'm coming back to zone. I get a $7 4 mile McDonald's. So that works for me. And that I go to pick that up. I think I went in there, the order was ready. And that delivered kind of close to home here. So I dropped that off, come back home. Or maybe, let's see, well, first of all, the pay, $2 from DoorDash, $5 tip, for $7. And was I home yet? No, I did. I must have. Let's take a look at that customer position. Well, it's kind of like two different views there. But I must have just after I dropped the order off and heading home, I get this 625 11 mile Starbucks decline. I talked about this before. The Starbucks in my zone are not on DoorDash. So you see here, this is picking up from West Side Starbucks. I had to go out of zone to the out of zone Starbucks, pick up and deliver back into zone. It's kind of too bad that the customers aren't a little bit more knowledgeable. But the thing about it is you can't blame them, or you can't ask them to know these types of things. I only know this because I'm a driver. And I know that the Starbucks in this zone are not on DoorDash, but they're on Uber Eats. So if, like, right now, if I wanted Starbucks delivered here, I'm not going to do this right here to a DoorDash driver. I'm placing the order on Uber Eats. And so it's less mileage for whoever does this delivery. But like I said, you can't really fault the customers. They shouldn't be, I guess, expected to know these. It'd be nice if they did know these type of things, but you can't. The average customer, you can't expect them to. So it is what it is. I've been kind of orders like this. I don't get them too often where I'm already in the zone. It's asking me to go out of zone and come back. But I have gotten Starbucks orders when I'm out of zone. And I picked up from this one when I'm already in the West Side. I picked up from a downtown Starbucks before when I'm already downtown. and picking up at those locations and bringing it back into zone, then it's a good order. But like this right here where I have to leave and come back, not wasn't interested. Then just 4 minutes later, so I managed to get home, and I just walked in the door. I was only in here for like a minute when I get this order, and I was on the phone with my wife, and I was like, I don't know about this. I asked her about it. I was like, it's 10:50, 8 miles, Wendy's, and one item from Meijer. I asked my wife, well, what do you think? And what would you guys do watching this video? What would you guys have done on this? Is this is accept or a decline? I accepted it. I'm like, it's, kind of raunchy, but it's, double digit pay, and yeah, it's 8 miles, it's commercial point, but I don't know. It seemed easy, just the one item from Meijer. I decided to do it. So I go to Wendy's first, pick that up. The order was ready. It was just a Baconator meal with a large lemonade. That's it. Okay. Go to Meijer, which is just down the street. And here's your one item from Meijer, cantaloupe chunks. So this was kind of like part of the breakfast for this customer. And, this is easy. I mean, I just gotta go to Meijer, and the produce is like right inside the front doors. This just take a few seconds. And what I was trying to do on this screenshot was I was trying to shop an order in less than 10 seconds here and get a screenshot where it shows checked off and proceed to check out. And I was shooting for like 5 seconds is what I was trying to do. I go to the produce department. I pick up those cantaloupes. I have it in my hand when I hit start shopping, and I had the barcode turned up in my hand. I was like, to do this as quickly as possible. What happened was I hit start shopping, and then I get that pop-up reminder message making sure that you check the date on the shit, and that you're picking out good food, and blah, yada, yada, blah, 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 whatever it says. So I close that out. And then it just pops right back up. The same message. Check, make sure it's in good condition, the expiration date, yada, yada. And I have to close it out a second time. And so that's why I got screwed here. And that's why it's 13 seconds instead of my goal of 5. But still, 13 seconds, I guess, is still good. I go up to the checkout and check out. I mean, boom, 1, 2, 3 out of the store onto the customer. Now, I did not take a screenshot of the customer instructions, but it was a couple things here. Number one, it was a gift. And number two, it said, okay, the person you're delivering to is so-and-so, and he's going to be sitting in a truck with it's such and such address, sitting in a truck with a trailer behind it. And I'm like, okay, here we go. I do not like delivering to vehicles. I've talked about this before, whether it's I've delivered to truck drivers. I do not like those type of orders, like where I have to track down a truck driver in some, distribution center parking lot, or I've been to truck stops before. It's not fun. I've delivered to a security guard sitting in their personal vehicle. I've delivered to a yard truck before. I've even delivered to a couple, one or two times in the past, somebody that's drove out to my car on a forklift that I've delivered to. And now I'm delivering to some kind of like pickup truck with a trailer attached. Okay. Thank you very much. And the other thing that I don't like about these gift orders is you guys tell me what you think as well about this, but I don't know if the recipient knows that they're getting this or not. Okay. This could be like a scary situation. If the recipient, if it's a surprise, okay, so I'm just supposed to like drive up to this address and there's a guy sitting in a truck parked on the street. And what if he doesn't know he's getting the, what if it's a surprise from the gift sender? And I just go like walking up to somebody's truck or whatever. I mean, we've seen like in the past these shootings on the news and everything. I just feel a little bit uncomfortable on these gift orders because like I said, I don't know if the person is expecting this order or not. But anyway, I wish, I don't know. I don't know if anything can be done about that or if it's even a concern of other drivers or a concern of DoorDash's. I don't know. Okay, so I pull up to the I pull up to the address. I see the truck sitting there in the trailer and everything, just as advertised. But nobody's sitting in the truck. That's just great. Thank you very much. Nobody's there. Okay, so what am I supposed to do? Okay. I get out of the car. I send my message that I send to the customers when I first arrive. And I was on the phone with my wife. I told her, okay, I'm going to get out in the car and see if I can find this customer. I get out of the car and then I see this next screenshot. So, from the customer says that's the truck with the trailer, and then the picture here, which I already seen the truck. So they sent this before I even got there, and then now I'm reading it. And then so you see the picture of the truck, and then down below that, the customer is on his way to the truck. Okay, so on his way from where? Could you be a little bit more specific here? Is he in the backyard of the address I'm parked at and coming around the back of the house? Is he a couple doors down? Is the guy coming from on the road, coming from San Antonio, Texas, and he's should be in the area and about to drive up to the truck? Where's he coming from? So I did not like this delay. I don't like situations like this at all. So I stand on the sidewalk by the truck and I'm standing there, and fortunately it wasn't too long. It was probably just like a minute. I was probably only going to, maybe give this like 3 or 4 minutes. And then I was going to, and another problem is you see that these messages were translated from Spanish into English. That's another one of my problems here, is that I'm dealing with customers that don't speak English. So chances are I know that I'm not going to be able to call. Everything's going to have to go through the text messages, and hopefully everything gets translated correctly. Okay, so I stand there and then I see the guy. So he comes, it's not the house that I'm parked at with the address in the app. He comes from the next house over, comes walking from the back of it along the side of the house, and then he's carrying like a weed whacker, and I give him the food, and you know, it ended up working out. Next screenshot here, you see my where they said he's on his way to the truck. I sent the okay message, and then of course delivered the order, and then my second message that I sent on hand to customers: order delivered. Thank you for placing your DoorDash order today. And then the customer sent this other message. Thank you very much for your patience and waiting. Have a nice and blessed day. So, it ended up working out, and I was understanding. The customer was understanding. I start driving away. Immediately when I start driving away, get this push notification that the customer just added $2. So cool. And then actually, I got that before I even closed out the order. Then I closed out the order. So it started out as a zero tip. I guess they wanted to wait until it was delivered and then leave the tip, is what happened here. And I've only had this happen. This is only like the second or third time I've ever had this happen. So, but yes, now it ended up being a $12.50 order. So, next was a coming back to zone. I got a $4. I think I did get back to zone and was parked at Meyer, if I'm not mistaken. I like, in fact, I was like pulling into a parking spot and got this just as I was parking. And so yeah, not even a mile. I'll do this. $4. Go over to Taco Bell. The doors are locked. Thank you very much. But I kind of expected it. So I get back in the car, run through the drive-through. Just had to wait a minute or so on this order, and it just went down the street, as you can see on the map here. Just went down to the major intersection. There's like a doctor's office on the corner there, and went in and deliver that. Easy as could be. $4. Then I came back home, and I was really tired at this point. I decided to first, let me back up. I keep jumping ahead too fast here. So there's the pay breakdown on that $4 order. 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Be right back at you. Then I went home. I was really tired. I decided to lay down in bed. But I only laid there for, it might not even been like 2 minutes. I got an order pretty quickly here, 9:39, 550, 5.3 mile Wendy's. I was like, you know, let's do it. Let's do it. I just, this order was a toss up. I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's keep driving, keep staying moving instead of just laying here like a lazy bum in bed. Let's get out in the car and go do this order. Okay, so I'm on my way, and actually, I didn't get very far. You see here, I was almost my same pin position as on the previous screenshot. They stack on a second Wendy's order for $5, only really adding no additional miles. I mean, 0.2 miles. So now you're talking $10.50 for 5.5 miles. So yeah, absolutely. Now this was a really worthwhile order with the stack added on. Walk into Wendy's, both orders were ready. I got really lucky on wait times today for some reason. Just one of those really lucky days. So both orders were just sitting right there, right on the counter. And so I delivered to the stacked order first, which was just like right across the street, the car dealership, to where my number one customer is, but this one delivering to him, this is somebody else working at the same dealership. So you see, that only took about 15 minutes to get to the Wendy's and get that first one delivered. $2 from DoorDash, $3 tip for the five. And then there was some trickiness on the second order. So you see here that I didn't deliver the first one at 9:56. I didn't get the second one delivered until 10:16. Okay, so what happened was this was going to to like a detached office building for a local church here. So, and I've delivered there once before. So I go to this church and I pull in, and I think I scared a police officer away actually. So I like I pull into this church. The cop is sitting at the entrance, and I pull in, like drive past the cop. I go and park, get out of the car and getting my order out of the car, and then the cop like just starts to drive away. So I think, when when that police officer saw this, hideous looking fat, DoorDash delivery driver, and this is too scary for me. I'm going to drive out of here, said the police officer. I don't want to be around some scary looking, DoorDash driver. So I go to the door, I ring the doorbell or whatever. Nobody's coming in the door. I'm standing there, look inside. I don't see anybody. I was like, "Ooh, is the customer like in the bathroom or why? What's going on here?" I wait a few more seconds, and finally I call, and the lady's like, "Oh, crap! I think this order is my son placed this order, and I think where are you at again?" And I told her, I was like, "Oh, you're at that's the work address. So my son placed an order and must have forgot to change the address." And she's like, "We're home. I mean, we're just kind of like right around the corner. It's a Grove City address. I mean, she was like, I guess I could come there and get it, or, and I was like, "Well, no, that's no big deal. I can, if it's not too far, I can drive it to you. It's no worries. I don't mind." And so I told her to text me the address. Well, she didn't know in the app how to send a text to a driver or whatever. So I told her to hold on. Once I got back to the car, I had my notepad here, and I just hand wrote down the address from her. And so I hang up with her, and I go to put this address in, and it's not right around the corner. It was actually 3 miles away. It is like on, the other side of my zone. So, well, I mean, whatever. It's not the end of the world. So I drive over there. I pull in. The son is standing out in the driveway, and so I don't even have to get out of the car. I just roll down the window, give him the order, and he gives me a $5 tip. So that was cool. I get I drive the additional mileage. They gave me an extra $5 tip, so that was cool. I go to close the order out, and well, I think I went back a screen or whatever to see what the delivery time was, the original delivery time, and I was closing this order out 9 minutes past that time that was listed on my screen. So I closed out the order, and I selected the message, where it says that customer asked me to deliver to this address, and then I close out the order. And then I immediately call DoorDash support. Kind of, hey, look, if this was like 9 minutes late, it's because, I came to this other address, yada, yada, yada. Well, the support agent said that on his end, he was actually showing that the order was delivered 4 minutes early. So I don't know. I don't know how there could be that much a difference in time from what I'm seeing on the app versus what they're seeing. That seems like a big difference to me. But he said, now I've only had this happen like once before. And surprisingly enough, that delivery was to a church as well. It was a catering order, if I'm not mistaken. This has been quite some time ago. But I pulled up to a church and they're like, oh, no, you're supposed to be at the other location. And that was like a farther drive. So on that one, I called DoorDash first to see if I could get extra pay before I got, and they did give me extra pay. I forget how much it was. On this one, I didn't call first, but I called after I delivered, and the agent told me, going forward, you should call us like first before you get started to an alternate address. And I thanked him. I said, okay, I'll remember that for next time then. And so, fortunately, no harm done on this order. I ain't getting kind of contract violation or bad ratings or didn't go down as a late delivery or anything. Plus, I got an additional $5 tip. So, cool. Then was my third and final decline of the dash. I'd already kind of had a couple longer distances, trips to this point, and I'm not doing this, going back down to Commercial Point for just $7. And we're approaching my busy hour, so I just went ahead and declined this one. So that was at 10:32. So just 6 minutes later, good thing I declined that because I got a much better order 6 minutes later. 1975. 15 miles because I was sitting over at Meyer and I had to go, you see all the actions over Stringtown Road area. So, but I only got to get 3 items from Target and just 2 items from PetSmart. So this seems easy enough. I'll pick up this, close to $20 and probably call it a dash after that. So I go to Target. And so what is this? 17 minutes later, after receiving the offer, I got to Target and had this shopped in 2 minutes. You see here just some Miracle Whip, ranch dressing, and some frozen cookie dough. Pretty simple. Shop that. Then as I'm pulling into PetSmart parking lot, getting into my parking spot, I get this Panera add-on, $6 with a hidden tip, and only adding just less than a mile. So absolutely. Everything's right near each other. You got the Target, PetSmart is just across the street from that. Almost like if you were to draw like a square, these 3 places would kind of be like 3 corners of a square. So you got, like Target and then PetSmart and then, Panera's on across Stringtown from those 2 places. Whoops. So I get inside PetSmart, and here's the items and the shopping time. I'm surprised this took me less than 3 minutes. So it was diaper cover-ups and diapers for a dog. Never, I'm sure I've seen this type of thing before in a PetSmart, but I've never shopped for this before. This was a first, and I was not sure where these would be in the store. So I kind of walked to the back of the dog stuff, didn't see it, kind of come back up toward it was actually up one of the first aisles for dogs. And but I found this stuff once I got to that aisle. It was pretty easy. There was a line at the checkout. I had to wait behind like three other people checking out. So I was prepared to possibly have to drop this after about 10 minutes, but it was about a 5 minute wait in that line. And then of course, I went across the street, picked up the Panera. The order was ready, no drinks, just, one sack to pick up. He's again with the, no waits at the restaurants today. So I picked that up and then delivered the Panera. That was what? So it took me, what is this? About 26 minutes. No, so 26 minutes. That's all total after I found these two PetSmart or items. Then the five, it took me another 10 minutes to get out of that store. So it just took like 15 minutes to get the Panera and deliver it. It was pretty quick. $2 from DoorDash, $5 tip for $7. So the hidden tip was just $1. Then delivered those the two other orders. Just it just took me 12 minutes after delivering the Panera, just 12 minutes to deliver those other two. Everything was, kind of fairly close. 12.75 from DoorDash. The PetSmart was a $5 tip, and then $2 tip on the Target for $19.75. And then that was it for the Dash. So here is the Dash summary. It was a 5 hour and 52 minute Dash. I was active 3 hours and 53 minutes. So a little bit less than 2 hours of downtime. 12 deliveries for $94.75 plus the $5 cash tip. You might as well say I made my $100. Drove 95 miles, and that's including the 6 wasted miles for having to come back here, get my wallet, and go back. So that's including those miles. Start of the Dash was 63%. Acceptance rate just raised it up 1% to 64. Now at 3,346 lifetime deliveries. DoorDash's count again is off. They have me at 2 deliveries less than that, but I'm going to go by my count. And that is it for this video. I got a new delivery wagon off of Amazon, so I'm going to do like an unboxing. That's going to be my video for tomorrow, and I'll talk about that. So I'm going to shut this off and record a unboxing video that'll be posted tomorrow, so check that out. And that is it. I am working the W-2 tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So the soonest I'll be back to dashing will be Tuesday. We'll see what unfolds between now and then. It may change. But anyway, that is it for this video. And as always, be sure to drive safe out there. And we'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for the support.